Hey everyone, it's Friday 1940 here. Today we're taking a look at NavalArt. This is by Rigid Body. This game is freaking cool. I like making ships because I've seen my Stormworks stuff. Stormworks allows you to do a lot of like marine engineering things if you want to go nuts building the systems out. NavalArt is doesn't have you build out like individual systems. So like for instance, the funnels will give you like horsepower that way, and you're kind of imagining that they're connected to boilers and turbines and stuff like that. And the main thing here is you get to build a ship where you could just think it up and put it all together and just take it into combat against a ton of other creations that people have made. So what what's this gun doing? It's because let me go and put the guns center line by hitting 0, so they're locked forward, or they're locked in their original positions, I should say. Let's go back up to the free camera. Yeah, so I have this thing called USS Cushing. It's its own sort of class, and it's an imaginary class. If you guys know, I'm a destroyer person, and I was one in the Navy, and I love the old destroyers, so I like the old Wickes-class destroyers, and that's kind of what this is inspired by. It's not meant to be like a one-for-one copy, but one of the main elements I wanted to capture was that those guys had 4-inch guns, and they were just deck guns originally on the ones that were made after World War I, and they didn't really have turrets and stuff. Well, obviously, through the years, some eventually got those. The guns were upgraded, but this is, I wanted to capture that interwar look, so it's just 4 deck guns. You got one there, you got one up here, one on the other side, and then one astern. So you've got the 3-gun broadside, basically. And the weights and stuff are generally, I think the dimension I've got is what the Wickes-class is. The top speed is roughly around what the Wickes-class can do, around like 35-ish knots. And the weight is a little heavier than a Wickes-class. I think those guys, when they're loaded out, were like 12,000 tons. 1,200 tons, sorry. These guys are, I think, 1,400 tons, somewhere around there. But yeah, you can paint all sorts of details on. These are all different parts that just come with the game. Don't look at that Wildcat supporting 2 anchors. It's kind of weird, but I got really lazy with the change because the links and stuff, you can go down to like 1 link, and it's pretty tedious to move some of those things around. So I was over it, and it is what it is. Yeah, but you can put some details in the bridge. You can actually put sailors on there, which is really neat. Obviously, this isn't the uniform of the sailors. I didn't go around painting it correctly, and I didn't bother. This is just a default paint for that. I've got a simulated or a rendition of like a fly bridge, basically, where people would, the command staff would sit up there and just drive the ship topside if they wanted. We've got an observation area up here, and these guys, this part here is a module that ties into the fire control of the gun. So obviously these don't have a fire control system, but this just improves the accuracy of the gun, so you can imagine them being communicated by those guys targeting. If you had multiple ones, it increases the accuracy. So they got a couple there, and then we've got a couple back here which are currently blocked by these boats. Painting in this game is pretty difficult. You can't, this part is just one color piece, so you can't paint the whole of that boat a certain way in the top side part of it. I think you can mod the part to be able to do that, or just give yourself an aneurysm by putting little plates and stuff around it to cover it with color, but I'm not doing that. These masts also are pre-made masts, because I'm not very good at making custom stuff at the moment. This mast I think is meant for like a cruiser, so it's pretty big compared to the ship. And then this guy is a British mast. I've added some stuff in it like the crow's nest, and this crow's nest, you can imagine, is not a nice spot to be in because the funnel smoke is just blowing in his face. Not good. But yeah, the sound tubes, you can put sound tubes down, binoculars and all this. It's just so neat, the details you can add. I've even got like an aft steering kind of area here, so in case the forward command area is like blown out, the fly bridge is destroyed, you can do aft steering, you can drive the ship. I think the Johnston, before she went down, I think her whole superstructure was obliterated and she was being driven from aft steering, which is pretty wild. Yeah, we got dual 20 mils back aft, and then up forward on this superstructure we have 4 singular 20 mils for anti-aircraft, and then we've got 5 Ma Deuce 50 cal guns, and there's a single one back here for air, anti-air also, and we got 2 quintuple. Is that the word, quintuple? I can't think. It's been a long day. Yeah. 2 5-shot torpedo tubes, basically. These in real life, the Wickes-class, I think, had 4 triple mounts, if I remember correctly. And there was like port and starboard and port and starboard. And they were offset, so I think one was kind of forward mounted this way, and the other one was aft mounted in the same section, just so they wouldn't swing into each other. So that's a little different, but yeah, it's not meant to be an exact copy. It's just to get the feel of the 4-Piper destroyer. I think the flush deck destroyer, I think that's really good. And what's cool about this is there's so many different weapons types, so you can build different flights of this boat. You can imagine it, okay, going into World War II, like 5 or 10 years later after it was commissioned, which by then I think there was all the Clemson-class destroyers. There was more than 100 of them. I think there was 150 of them or something crazy. Or maybe even 200. There's a lot of them. And yeah, you can add different gun systems. You can add a turret. You can add, I've even seen a picture of a Wickes-class that was being experimented on. So over the forward gun mount, there was a thing that they built for a seaplane as an observation plane. That was one of the first instances of aircraft being on a destroyer. You know, nowadays we just take for granted destroyers. Most of them have helicopter capability, except for the Flight 1s. They can pick up aircraft and stuff like that, but they can't host them. But it's common that destroyers have aircraft on them these days. And those Wickes-class were like one of the first times it was experimented on putting a plane on such a small ship. I think there was modified ones that were like fast transport, so they had Higgins boats on the back. And I think there was a couple, I don't know if it was Wickes-class or Clemson-class. I think it was Clemson-class that were modded like that so they can do raids and things like that. So anyways, I think we should take this into combat. This guy has got armor that's not great. Actually, we'll show you in the dock really quick before we go. Let's see. There we go. If we have 2, we can see the armor. And so these segments here have 16 mil. And the reason I put them as 16 mil, well, the top part over here is, in real life, these ships of this type that I'm going after, they didn't have like any belt armor or anything like that. They were just straight up structural steel, like small amount of millimeters, basically, just to build the structure of the ship. So I'm just going to say that maybe those walls were like 5, and because these are just boxes, I've got them to be 16 because my imagination is saying, well, there would be multiple walls inside the ship if the round went through, so potentially total there would be like 16 mils going all the way across. But for the plates and stuff that I have added, like the bridge and things like that, where they're singular plates, I just left them as 5 mil because that's kind of what I imagine the thinness of the steel to roughly be around. So yeah, there's deck plates like that that are just 5 mil, but the body has a little bit more just because I imagine it being multiple, steel walls in there, ultimately adding total up to like 16 millimeters. Anyways. Now that we know what we got, let's take this into combat. We'll go against a Fubuki destroyer, just so we can test out something kind of in our weight class. You can get absolutely mauled in this thing against other things. These guns are not great, and I'm not great at shooting, and you guys will see that. All right, we are doing a quick battle against a Fubuki-class destroyer. You can see we're 1,000 hit points less than them, but we'll try our best. There's a lot of cool ships that are already like pre-saved in the game, so you can do quick battles with them. There's missions that you can do, or longer battles. You can do multiple ships versus multiple ships, and I'm just curious to see how this thing goes. We are on the shell rework beta, which is still just a beta you can download and try out. It does improve the shooting from the really limited amount of time I've had with it. When I first played this game, I noticed there was like crazy amount of ricochets. That it was pretty frustrating. But when you play with the shell rework, that is definitely reduced, and I think that was something that the developer was trying to work on because they mentioned it in the notes for the beta. So that is pretty cool. But we've got these 4-inchers, and we can only really do 3 guns on a broadside. So we'll see if we can position ourselves well against the Fubuki to fire. They probably fired some torpedoes at me because I noticed the AI destroyers go crazy with torpedoes, and I don't know if they have a realistic amount or if they just refresh their ammo. There it is. Yeah, or if they refresh their torpedoes and they've got reloads, then it goes off a timer. And for us, we have 5, and I think it's 5, and then it's done. I'm not sure if it reloads. There's like another salvo there. You know what? Let's slow this down. Let's try to get some guns in now. Actually, we'll test the torpedoes out. Oh, we can't. I've got some railings there, so the game will block you from like firing and stuff if you're actually blocked. Fire one there in case they turn around. Okay, so we're out of torpedoes. We'll see later on if we get more torpedoes or not. Let's go back to 1. And I'm a terrible shot at this game. It's difficult for me to figure out the sighting system here. There are, what's cool about this game is you can add certain module parts that do increase accuracy. So for this kind of era, there's just sighting systems, like we've got them mounted. There's a couple up there on the in that lookout's nest. There's like 2, one on the starboard side and port side of that nest, and there's a couple back aft blocked by some boats right now. Ooh, all the torps missed. We'll wait for some more torpedoes coming inbound here. But yeah, you can build other era ships with sighting systems that get more advanced, that become like radar fire control systems, radar directed ones I should say. The amount of things you can build is insane because it goes all the way up into like the missile age. So you got VLS, you can make an Aegis radar ship. I maybe might tackle like a Perry and put some VLS on it, but I'm not sure. I'm more really interested in the okay, they're training their torpedo tubes at me. That's scary. Do I have any more torpedo tubes or open? Oh, they reload. Okay, awesome. Oh, this guy's so screwed. I don't know what the cooldown is, but get wrecked. Oh. That was a very anemic broadside. Ooh, is he going to turn into them? Is he going to turn into them? Ooh. Man, just one of them has to hit and they all missed. Yeah, I'm so bad at judging these shots. It's terrible. Oh, he's got his torps fired. If I can destroy those mounts, that'd be freaking great. Okay, that's not a factor anymore. Yeah, you can see here they're not firing their guns at me. I don't know what's going on, if that's just because I'm on the beta and that's what the AI is doing right now, or if there's some other reason. What did I destroy? Oh, I destroyed an engine. Okay, so they probably should be going slower. Okay, let's close back in. Yeah, this is just so cool to build whatever and use it in combat like this. It's really fun. I will be just insanely happy when we can do this against submarines with depth charges. I think it'd be crazy fun. And there is multiplayer stuff. You can do the ASW stuff in multiplayer. Holy cow, get some friends on and film that. That'll be really cool. There's like, you can even build merchant ships. You don't have to build warships. So like, you can create a scenario where like merchant ships have to survive a U-boat attack or something, and you gotta go find them and kill the submarines. And we were just chasing them around. We gotta get broadside so we can get sort of more guns. Ooh, I think that was some torpedoes were fired. Yep. Alright, they're firing that way. We're good. Ooh, we can set up for a close torpedo attack right now. Gotta get ahead of them. Alright, there we go. Alright, we'll cut over. Just blast them with guns. Ooh, right to the bridge. Nice. I wish there was a lock button. Maybe there is. If you guys know, please let me know. It's frantic trying to move the mouse and... Ooh, they're almost dead. One more hit. No, another hit. Oh, a couple more hits. They got like 100-something hit points left. Well, I guess if we get a good one. Yep, there it goes. Yep, that's what I thought. Ooh, that was a knife fight with those torpedoes, but I think it would have been more challenging if they could fire guns, so it's kind of easy. But if you took the ship against a cruiser or something, you get slaughtered. If you took it against a late war destroyer, you get slaughtered. It's just they have way too many hit points. And yeah, well, that was NavalArt, and this is the USS Cushing. If I can figure out, you can put this stuff on the workshop, and there's a ton of ships that really, really talented people made. So if you want to get more ships that way, you can do that. If I can get this on there, and once I figure it out, then I can share that with you, so you guys can play this ship if you'd like. There's some little things that I don't like about it, like that's not lined up perfectly. I thought I fixed that. No, maybe it's the angle, I don't know. But yeah, I had a blast. I don't know what I'm going to build next. I kind of want to stay with the ASW theme, and I was thinking making another like maybe like a flower class or flower class like inspired corvette to go along with this. I also kind of want to do a light carrier, like an escort carrier, just so I can have. I want to make like a ASW hunter-killer group with an escort carrier and a pack of destroyers. I think that would be super cool. And I like all the different plane options you get in the game. It'd be interesting to see if they actually do put the ASW stuff also on some aircraft like Avengers or whatever, so that you can use a carrier in that capacity. I think that would be super neat. Yeah, NavalArt, it's Steam sale that was going on for summer sale, and it's cheap and it's pretty fun. I thought I wouldn't like it because in Stormworks I like building out systems like marine engineering systems and getting that all hooked up and working. But this also has a lot of merits, just decorating your ship how you like, and this does combat a different way than Stormworks does. Building multiple ships like this in combat in Stormworks is... it's possible. I mean, people have told me, and they showed me videos. I've seen videos of it, but it is not a polished experience, and this, I think, is better in that regard. That's just my opinion. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Get to them as soon as possible. See you next one. Bye.